The story begins in 1960 in the Bronx, in a working-class Italian-American community. A man named Lorenzo works as a bus driver to provide for his wife Rosina and their 9-year-old son Calogero. The little boy is fascinated by the presence of the Mafia and criminal activity in his neighborhood. One day, Lorenzo drops off his son at home. However, instead of returning home, Calogero sneaks into the pub belonging to a Mafia group, where Sonny, a mobster, and his pals meet. In the process, Calogero narrates an introduction of the individuals there. Despite the fact that Tony Toupee is the owner of the pub, everyone knows that Sonny is actually the boss here. Sonny's right hand is Jimmy Whispers. They call him Whispers since everything is a secret to him. Suddenly, Calogero's mother snatches him and scolds him for entering the pub. Later, when Lorenzo gets home from work, he scolds Calogero and tells him to avoid that pub. Lorenzo doesn't want his son to follow in the footsteps of those criminals because he wants Calogero to grow up an honest man. The next day, Calogero and his friends, Slick and Mario, impersonate Sonny's gang while watching them argue. Slick is enraged when a bus carrying black people goes through their neighborhood. Calogero tells him to ignore them because they are only passing by, but Slick ignores him. He then races after the bus while hurling racist insults. As Lorenzo notices this, he gets upset and calls Calogero to talk to him. As the little boy sits on the stairs, he observes a confrontation between one of Sonny's men and another citizen. When the citizen starts brandishing a baseball bat at Sonny's man, Sonny starts shooting at him, after which he approaches and completely kills the man. Lorenzo swiftly snatches Calogero and rushes him upstairs. The police arrive minutes later and notify Lorenzo that they know Calogero was downstairs at the time of the incident and want him to identify the gunman. The police line up Sonny and his gang and walk Calogero through each one. However, Calogero refuses to snitch on Sonny and informs the officers that none of them fired a shot. Later, Calogero asks Lorenzo if it was the right thing to do, but Lorenzo replies that he did something good for a bad man. The next day, as Lorenzo drops off Calogero, he notices Sonny's sign of respect. Sonny's right hand enters the bus, grateful that Calogero didn't snitch on Sonny. He offers Lorenzo a job that pays well. However, Lorenzo politely declines, stating that he doesn't want to get involved in Sonny's criminal activities. The next day, while Calogero is fixing his bike, one of Sonny's men takes the little boy to the pub. Sonny wants to meet him and hires Calogero to serve drinks at the bar. The young boy gets to work and gets a lot of tips right away. Later on, while the gang is gambling with dice, Sonny calls Calogero and asks him to throw a few rounds. Calogero hits 11 consecutive passes, earning a large sum of money for Sonny. After the game, Sonny gives Calogero a substantial tip and decides to give him a nickname, C. Sonny treats C as if he were his son, and when word spreads about them, C senses a shift in the way people in his neighborhood interact with him. People start to treat him with more respect. One day, C goes to buy fruit and the peddler gives him a bag of peaches, refusing C's money, saying Sonny asked him to take care of him. Later, Lorenzo and Rosina have discovered his stockpile of cash and are curious as to where it came from. When C informs his father that he worked for Sonny, Lorenzo goes to the pub to return it. Lorenzo puts the money on Sonny's table and tells him that they won't accept it. He adds that he should stay away from his son, but Sonny says that the money isn't for him, but for his son. Sonny asks C to wait outside while they talk. Sonny tells Lorenzo that he treats C like a son, but Lorenzo replies that all the things the child sees around the bar, such as clothes, vehicles, and money, could have a bad influence on him. Lorenzo urges Sonny to stay away from his son, which irritates the mobster, who demands Lorenzo leave before he gets smacked. On the way home, C is irritated and wants his money back. When C raises his voice, Lorenzo slaps him. C tells Lorenzo that Sonny was telling the truth, the working man is a loser. On the other hand, Lorenzo says he shouldn't let Sonny influence him, since it doesn't take much to pull the trigger. Lorenzo tells his son that the real tough guy is the man who is honest, the one who gets up every day and works for a living. Lorenzo apologizes for slapping C and tells him that he will understand when he's older. 7 years later, Sonny is at the races with an older C and the gang. They're all betting on the leading horse, Kryptonite, and as they rejoice, another man walks in, also rooting for Kryptonite. Sonny throws away the tickets and starts to go, knowing that they will lose, because the man who just entered has bad luck and bet on the same horse. Nevertheless, C stays behind to see how the race ends, and indeed, Kryptonite loses. C and his buddies founded their own social club, Deuces Wild, where they spend the majority of their time just hanging around. They are triggered when a car with black individuals comes by, but C claims that there is no cause for alarm and that they are merely going through. However, the other boys protest that they have no right to be in their neighborhood. Lorenzo approaches in his bus and invites C to join him. He then asks C whether he wants to attend the boxing match tomorrow, but C is staring at a girl across from him and isn't hearing his father. Later, C spots a man named Louis who owes him $20. He chases after him, but Sonny calls him over and asks what's going on. Sonny explains that hurting someone isn't always the best solution, and that C could have done something horrible for only $20, and it would not have been worth it. C is astounded and tells Sonny that he is always correct, to which Sonny responds that if he were always correct, he would not have spent 10 years in prison. Sonny tells C about a book authored by Machiavelli and emphasizes the necessity of availability. He also adds that he may live in any neighborhood he wants, but he prefers to live here since being on the spot puts him in close proximity to everything and also allows him to notice trouble quickly. He tells C to be concerned exclusively with himself, his family, and the people who are important to him. Shortly after, a motorcycle gang decide to stop at the pub for beers. Sonny's right hand tries to chase them away because they are not properly dressed. However, Sonny steps in and allows them to drink, but when things get out of hand and the bikers start throwing their beer all over the bartender, Sonny returns to deal with them. As they disrespect him, he locks the pub and warns them that they cannot leave, making them all understand what a tremendous mistake they have made. Shortly after, Sonny's gang enter from the back door and mercilessly beat them. One night, one of C's friends, a gun dealer, shows the crew the new guns for sale. When Sonny walks by and sees what is going on, he gets angry and slaps the gun dealer, claiming that he is endangering the whole neighborhood. Sonny chases everyone away except C, telling him that he needs to talk to him. Sonny explains that C's pals are all jerks who will get him in trouble and that possessing a gun doesn't make him a man. Sonny doesn't want C to hang out with his new friends, claiming the thug life is not for him. The next day, C is taken aback when he meets the girl from the bus, and is overjoyed to find they would be attending the same school. When his pals want to hang out, C lies about having to take a test, in order to stay and talk with the girl he sees standing alone. He talks to her after an awkward introduction and learns that her name is Jane. He walks her home, and they agree to meet for a movie date the next day. Later, while C and his buddies are hanging out, they get enraged when they notice black individuals riding bicycles around the area. C tells them that they are not bothering anyone and asks them to leave them alone, but Slick is intrigued by C's recent support for black people. Shortly after, Slick slaps one of the black guys, and the rest of the group quickly joins him. C pretends to be helping them while persuading one of the black kids to stay down so he won't be attacked by the crew. Sonny is furious when he sees that they are behaving like thugs and warns C to stay away from his buddies, who are nothing but trouble, informing him that they will all be dead or in jail. C asks Sonny for advice about dating a black girl and is surprised when Sonny tells him that the only thing that matters is what is best for C and how they feel about each other, therefore, he should follow his heart. Sonny offers to let C use his car to make a good impression and wants him to put Jane through the door test. C must open the car door for his girlfriend and then close it for her. Then he has to walk to the back of the car and look through the rearview mirror. If she does not open the door for him, he has to dump her. Sonny explains that this test will show whether Jane is a selfish girl or not. Later, C asks Lorenzo for advice, claiming that he has a friend who wants to date a black woman. Lorenzo informs him that he has no problem with black people, but that they should marry within their race. C comments on how biased it is and wonders what he would say if he wanted to date a black girl, but Lorenzo responds that he wouldn't let him do that. C meets Jane for their date and finds that the day before, her brother was beaten by Italians. Jane wants to know whether he was involved, but C denies being there. However, Jane has brought her brother to see if he recognizes C, and as he gets out of the car, he informs Jane that C was the one who attacked him. C lashes out and, in the heat of the moment, uses the N-word, which he immediately regrets as Jane makes her way back to the car with her brother. C returns the car, and when Sonny wonders why he's back so early, C says things didn't work out before hurrying away. Later, Lorenzo confronts C about driving Sonny's car and wants him to stay away from the pub. On the other hand, C assures him that Sonny trusts him, to which Lorenzo says that Sonny doesn't trust anyone. Lorenzo informs C that people don't respect Sonny, they fear him, and there is a great difference. Nevertheless, C accuses Lorenzo of being a loser, as he believes his father is a bus driver who has nothing to prove. Later that night, C finds that their social club has been egged, and his crew is already planning retaliation. Sonny arrives before they can reach C, and the guys scatter. Sonny is enraged, grabbing C and demanding to know where he went with his car. Sonny informs C that the car carried a bomb, which fortunately didn't explode. After a few slaps, C assures him that he has been like a father to him and would never hurt him. As Lorenzo goes to check out what's going on, he gets punched to the ground. As he walks away, Sonny tells him that he must watch his mouth. C walks away and runs into his crew, who are waiting for him. They've armed themselves with Molotov cocktails and are on their way to retaliate. C joins them but soon regrets it and is confused about how to quit without looking like a coward. They stop at a red light, and Sonny approaches, demanding that C get out of the car. Slick tells him to calm down, and Sonny smashes his face into the dashboard. Sonny and C return to the pub, and one of Sonny's men tells C that a girl was looking for him not long ago. C dashes away and meets with Jane, who informs him that her brother told her the truth about C helping him. They kiss for the first time. C tells Jane that he wants to be with her and doesn't care what others think. C recalls that Slick and the boys are on their way to Jane's neighborhood and advises her to get in the car as soon as possible. He jumps in excitement as he walks around the car and sees Jane reaching over to unlock his door. Slick and the gang enter a predominantly black neighborhood and start shooting randomly. They then start throwing Molotov cocktails into a store, but one of the bottles doesn't explode and is thrown back toward their car. When it lands inside, it explodes along with the other unused Molotov cocktails. C and Jane arrive to find the dead bodies of his crew on the ground. C isn't sure whether he should be thrilled to be alive or sad that his pals are dead.
I just got a call. You okay? Yeah, man. Listen, I'm sorry.
Later, he returns to the pub to meet Sonny. When he arrives, he discovers that there is a party going on inside. While walking through the crowd, C notices someone approaching Sonny with a mean face. He shouts, but it's too late to stop him from shooting and killing Sonny. The shooter is the son of the man Sonny killed in front of C. At Sonny's funeral ceremony, C is horrified to see people talking business and casually conversing as if no one cares. Soon, everyone goes except for him. As he bids his final farewell to Sonny, he encounters a man named Carmen, who informs him that he will be taking over the neighborhood. Carmen tells him that Sonny told him about C and that he should come visit him if he ever needs anything.
Dad, I'm sorry if I ever hurt you in any way.
That's all from the video. Thanks for watching.